Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Blue Wave. I'm your host, Max Lopez. We got a really good show today, lots of stuff to get to. So we're going to be starting off with the Supreme Court overturning Biden's student loan forgiveness program, what it means for me, what it means for millions of other people in this country, and a little bit of a shining light, I guess, in terms of the whole situation, in that this is really going to hurt the Republicans politically, I believe, in the 2024 election. And with a voter group like Gen Z, especially, being more and more liberal, I think it's going to hurt the Republicans badly, the decision by the Supreme Court. We're going to get into Marco Rubio nailing the main point of concern when it comes to David Grush's revelations about secret crash retrieval program of UAPs that has existed in the United States since the 1930s, and why Rubio's point is exactly what I've been thinking and what I've been saying as to why this issue should be looked at seriously, even if Grush is completely wrong about everything that he's saying. Next, we'll get into Trump's motorcade heckled. We're going to get into why, how far he's fallen out of favor with the American people, and really just that he's not gaining any more fans. Next, we'll look at DeSantis's War Room Twitter account, which is a fan page of DeSantis, I suppose, that is sharing a disgusting ad attacking Trump from the right on LGBT issues. And it's really just disgusting. And it shows just the kind of people that DeSantis supporters are. And then we'll get into DeSantis's cowardly response to a January 6th question that was posted to him during a town hall in New Hampshire. And we'll just get into why it's such a cowardly response and how I would have responded to the question if I was trying to make an appeal to voters who are sick and tired of Trumpism and his stranglehold on the political system and on the right. And lastly, we're going to look at DeSantis awkwardly eating pizza in an interview with Jesse Waters, because for some reason, people at Fox thought that it would be a good idea to have an interview where two people are eating, and DeSantis is attacking the woke mob that is now coming after, wait for it, pizza ovens. DeSantis is fighting the wokeism in schools. He's fighting the wokeism in our government. And he's also fighting the wokeism at pizza parlors. So to start us off here, we're going to be looking at Joe Biden's Supreme Court decision in which the Biden's student loan forgiveness program has been struck down by the Supreme Court. And the argument I've been heard being made by Republicans is that, why should I pay for somebody to go to school when I, in fact, didn't go to school and I didn't take out any loans, or I went to school and I paid for it out of pocket, or I worked my way through college? So why should we try to help out anybody else that has student loans and is struggling? Well, my response to that argument is, why should we continually bail out rich people and continue to give tax breaks and bailouts to the richest people in our country as if they need the help? It doesn't make any sense. We have time and time again that rich people have been bailed out by the taxpayers of this country and by the federal government. And you don't hear a peep about that from the Republicans. Look at the PPP loans, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene took over $850,000 of PPP loans. And we don't hear a peep about how it was a bad thing that the government forgave those. But why is that? Is it because the PPP loans were not going to the lowest, the most, the least well-off members of our society? Could that be it? And another thing is that these Republicans are trying to act like everybody who gets student loans has gone on to become a successful doctor or lawyer. Okay, it's just not the case. In fact, 15 to 20% of people that got student loans never even finished their degree, and they have the debt that is associated with getting the loans, but they don't even have a degree to show for it. So, I was of the thinking that the Republicans are for free market and for capitalism at all costs. And I'm not sure how allowing a debt-straddled generation to continue having the debt and to continue not being able to economically advance because of their debt. Why is it that we're not going to do anything at all to make these people in a more economically strong place? Because what happens then is that people go out and they stimulate the economy and they spend money at stores, at restaurants, on services and goods. They don't hoard it in the stock market like rich people do. And they don't stick it in a bank account and just let it sit there and sit there and sit there like rich people do. So it's actually an economically better thing to relieve debt because it allows people more upward mobility, which is a stronger economy in which you have, more people having upward economic mobility is a better economy than having less people with that opportunity. So let's go ahead and look at the article here real quick. So it says, a college graduate with $33,000 in student loan debt says she has no hope after the Supreme Court rejected Biden's forgiveness plan. Many borrowers are dismayed after the Supreme Court struck down Biden's student debt relief plan. Scarlett Anderson, a 28-year-old college graduate, said that she had no hope after the ruling. Anderson said that she consistently made her loan payments, but it didn't make a dent in her balance. So now we have a situation where people are making payments to their loans, and the interest is adding so much to their payments that they're not making any progress in terms of getting the overall loan paid off. So it's not just that people are just completely saying, screw the government, and I'm not going to pay a dime, and I'm not going to worry about it. Sure, there are people out there that are doing that, myself included. But we have people that are making payments and are still not able to, in an efficient manner, make progress towards paying off their loans. So what does this mean when we have a whole generation of people who are straddled with debt, that are trying to move up in the economy, were unable to do so? That's not an economically strong place for the United States to be in. And it's really confusing to me that we have Republicans making the argument that, well, I didn't get a loan to pay for school, so why should I help out anybody else? It's like telling a woman that is seeking an abortion and has been impregnated and doesn't want to go through with the birth of the child for whatever reason under the sun. And it's like telling that person, oh, well, you just shouldn't have gotten pregnant. Why'd you have sex? Why'd you make decisions to get yourself pregnant? You should have been doing something else. It's like, oh, okay, you could have that. That's just like a personal opinion. And that personal opinion doesn't change the reality of the person's situation. The person still has a child growing inside of them that they do not want to have. And why abortion should be legal is because citizens of the United States should be free to make whatever decisions that they want to make. And I'm not sure how the argument of, oh, well, I didn't take a loan to pay for school, so nobody should ever take a loan for pay for school, or nobody should ever have to be economically disadvantaged to the point that loans are needed. Well, that's not the situation we're in. And 40 million people signed up for Biden's loan forgiveness program, which is why this may end up backfiring against the Republicans, because Gen Z is already the most liberal voter group in the entire United States of America. By far, it's not even close. And next up is millennials. And then next up after that is Gen X. So you get older and people get more conservative. But what's happening is we're seeing that trend being bucked. And younger people, as Gen Z is growing up, they're not becoming more conservative because there's no reason to. The Republican Party is offering nothing to young people whatsoever. And then when they're going and seeing stuff like this and the Supreme Court and the Republican Party attacking, $20,000 of debt relief that they were to receive, it's not doing the Republican Party any favors. And I think that in the moment this stings, in the moment this sucks, I was upset. I was so upset yesterday I couldn't record the show. Okay, I was so mad about this. But the silver lining, if you will, in this whole situation is that this is going to have a political price to pay for the Republicans in 2024. And people are paying attention to the Supreme Court in a way that they never have before. And people are realizing that something is up here, and the court's legitimacy is at an all-time low. There's been poll after poll coming out about it. And I just think that this is a very short-sighted decision by the Supreme Court, and that they're going to there's going to be a price to pay for it politically in the 2024 election. Marco Rubio nailing the main point of why David Grush's revelations are so concerning and should be investigated one way or the other. And even if Grush's statements are partially true, there's still something really, really fishy and strange going on in terms of what he said to us so far. Give me 1 second. I just have to plug in my laptop here because the battery is going to die. Okay, it's plugged in now. So if you haven't been following, David Grush went on News Nation a few weeks ago and did an interview where he claims that he has insider knowledge and people have testified to him with high security clearances that work in or have knowledge of people who have worked in secret crash retrieval programs that have existed since the 1930s in the United States government to retrieve non-human origin crashed vehicles. Sounds crazy, right? So the Marco Rubio, a few weeks after, goes on the same channel, News Nation, and says that there are other whistleblowers who have testified to Congress and to him, and what they said was similar to what Grush has said. And so we're going to look at a bit of a transcript of the interview and get into why Grush's revelations are so concerning one way or the other, and somebody is lying. All right, so here's the transcript here. So it says, people who we entrusted to do some really important things for our country are saying some pretty incredible things, Rubio said. That I think we have an obligation to take seriously and listen to. We are getting more information now, he added. More people are coming forward than any time in the history of our country about this. We need to find answers, Rubio emphasized, because at the end of the day, anytime agencies of the federal government are unsupervised and do whatever they want, it's generally not a good outcome for the country. True. Senator Rubio did not mince words on the gravity of these allegations and the cut portions of his News Nation interview. If that is accurate, Rubio said, what you're basically saying is that within the government of the United States, there's a group of people who believe that they possess something that they don't need to share with anybody, including elected officials who they view as temporary employees. There are one of two things here that are true, Rubio said in his unaired response. Either what he is saying is partially true or entirely true, or we have some really smart, educated people with high clearances and very important positions in our government who are crazy and are leading us on a goose chase. Having attended classified briefings by both Grush and some first-hand witnesses with very high clearances to the government's UFO reverse engineering program, Rubio admitted that he was still not in a position to make a judgment. But the senator believes that these whistleblower claims demand attention no matter what the truth underlying them is revealed to be. Either one is a problem, Rubio said. Either what they're telling us is true, or we've got some people in important positions that are doing this for some reason. We've got to figure this out, the senator said. We cannot ignore it. So just to kind of paraphrase here what Rubio's saying. What Rubio's saying is that let's take the aliens out of the equation. Let's take crashed exotic vehicles completely out of the equation. And let's assume that Grush has been misled. And what Grush is alluding to is in fact not true. But there's been people that are testifying to him and are misleading him and are telling him false things to confuse him and to send him on some wild goose chase, as Rubio puts it. Well, what would be the reason for wanting to do that? Who would be directing people to testify to Congress and to commit perjury and to mislead highly respected, high security clearance holding people, to mislead them and confuse them? Why would there be a want or a need to do that? Is there something else that is being covered up? Is there something, is there some nefarious activity by a foreign adversary that is being covered up and the government wants people to think it's a non-human intelligence, but in fact is something that has a prosaic origin and explanation? Well, what's up with that? That's just as strange as there being a non-human intelligence civilization that's here on Earth. Is that the U.S. government is openly misleading and is openly trying to distract away from some other thing. And what reason would the people coming to Grush testifying to him, what reason would they have to lie? Either they're lying about what they are involved with and what they've seen, or either they're lying or Grush is lying about what's been testified to him. Well, either one of those is a problem. Like, somebody's lying, something fishy is going on. We have to get to the bottom of this one way or the other. And if Grush's claims turn out to be completely false and completely based in no reality whatsoever, well, let's figure that out and get to the bottom of that. So either way, this is something that Congress needs to be taking and paying close attention to, because something fishy is going on no matter how you slice it. And this is something that we as Americans deserve to know the truth of. Trump's motorcade heckled in a very, very visceral, crazy way, in a way that I haven't seen in years and years, quite frankly. And it's really indicative of the fact that Donald Trump is not gaining any more voters anywhere in the United States. Everybody has seen the guy, they know what he's about, and they know where they stand on him. And he's not making any inroads with independents, with liberal-leaning people. And even on the Republican side, there's more and more Republicans every single day who are becoming sick and tired of Donald Trump. And it really makes you wonder why a figure like DeSantis doesn't take a more direct approach to attacking him. Because if you piled up all the numbers of all the never Trump candidates who are out there, or anti-Trump, I guess never Trump wouldn't be accurate, because a lot of them might end up voting for Trump. But the anti-Trump candidates that are out there, if you added up all the support, there might be a lane to take him down. But no one's taking that approach for some reason. And this video makes it even more confusing as to why they are not doing that. All right, here. So there's two different clips here of Trump being heckled, and they're both very, very interesting. I'll go ahead and play the first one right now.
I got like another 20 to go.
chanting, lock him up, lock him up. These people all have signs, they have tons and tons of things that they're displaying here. One sign says lost in the style of Trump's campaign text. Wow. Another one there said American Taliban. And just the tenor and the fervor that they are chanting, lock him up, lock him up. Wow. This is not, I don't care what Trump says. I don't care what any Republican pundits say. I don't care what Fox News says. Okay? This is not a position that you want to be in as a major candidate hoping to defeat an incumbent president who's already beat you, by the way, just a few short years ago in the election of 2020. Just a few short years ago, we had Trump being defeated by Biden. And yeah, this is not a good look. And this can't possibly be a sign of Trump's strength or anything like that. Let's hear this one last one where they scream, F you traitor, to Trump as he's driving by. Wow, crazy, guys. There's got to be hundreds of people there that are chanting, lock him up. Again, Trump's tapped out of all of his political favor, and he's tapped out of his political will. He's not gaining any fans. He's not gaining any support. His support is mostly staying solid with the 30 to 35% of people in this country that have lost their fucking minds and are not to be reasoned with, and have lost all rationality, and lost all sense of what's left, what direction left is, and what direction right is, and what the color of the sky is, for that matter. But yeah, he's not gaining any favor with anybody outside of that 30 to 35%, which again makes Ron DeSantis' approach to his campaign all the more dumbfounding and hard to understand. So DeSantis' War Room Twitter account, which is a fan page of DeSantis, has released this disgusting ad attacking Trump from the right on LGBTQ issues. And it really just goes to show what kind of people Republicans are and what kind of people Ron DeSantis supporters are, and really just goes to show what they think are the pressing issues that are hurting America the most today are. And it's quite disgusting and quite a ridiculous ad. Let's go ahead and watch it here together.
Do you believe?
Hey, sorry about that, guys. I actually had the wrong clip pulled up and Twitter wasn't loading, so I had to search and find the actual clip. So here it is. Here's the disgusting DeSantis War Room ad.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
If Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses.
That is correct.
In the future, can transgender women compete in Miss Universe?
Yes.
Make America great again.
Psych!
I cannot think of anything more horrifying.
It really has shut down rag.
just produced some of the harshest, most draconian laws that literally threaten trans existence.
Congratulations, Ron DeSantis. Mission accomplished. You win.
So yeah, as you guys can see here, some absolutely despicable stuff. I just can't believe that this is the strategy that DeSantis is taking to attack Trump on the right on trans and LGBTQ issues. It's not gaining him any support. Okay, it's never ever going to happen that Trump supporters defect to becoming DeSantis supporters. So where you attack him is you attack him on his shortcomings, and you attack him on real political detriment that he's brought to the Republican Party and their power structure in the country. The LGBTQ stuff, okay, maybe people in Florida care about it a lot. Maybe there's a small faction of the Republican Party that cares about it a lot, but it's just not moving the needle to continually attack Trump on LGBTQ issues. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. And all Trump has to point to is, well, I appointed the most conservative Supreme Court judges that are making decisions about LGBTQ rights, and just recently sided with a website maker who just doesn't want to service LGBTQ couples. And all Trump has to do is go, well, I've put the judges in there, and I'm going to be more anti-LGBTQ than DeSantis. Just look at the judges that are here. And then Trump automatically sucks up the anti-LGBTQ voter, because people aren't looking at Trump's old clips about what he said, because the guy's mouth is like a Schrodinger's cat scenario, okay, where it's like you don't know what's inside of the box. You open it up, you never know what you're gonna see, okay? Coming out of Trump's mouth. Okay, the guy flip-flops like he's walking down a beach right outside his stupid resort, Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Okay, so sure, he might say one thing about LGBTQ people that is seen as favorable, but then he makes a hideous remark that goes against them, and it just doesn't seem like it's the issue to be attacking Trump on. It really isn't. And next up, we're going to be looking at an issue that Trump should be getting attacked on, but for some reason DeSantis doesn't want to do that either. So we're going to look at DeSantis's cowardly response to a question about Trump's response to January 6th. And let's just play the clip here, and I'll have commentary on the other side for you guys.
That Trump violated the peaceful transfer of power.
Sorry, I didn't quite start it right at the start, so I'm going to rewind it.
Do you believe that Trump violated the peaceful transfer of power, a key principle that of American democracy that we must uphold?
Are you in high school?
Yeah.
Where do you go to school? You go around here?
Vermont, but I live in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. So you're from Vermont. Well, thank you for the question. So here's what I know.
Let me just, I'm just going to pause it here. So I said I was going to play the clip, but I just want to point out how, like, terrified this, like, high schooler sounds to be talking to DeSantis. Like, is it just nerves talking to a politician that's powerful, maybe? Or is it just DeSantis is just a weird guy, and it's really hard to relate to him, and he doesn't appear or act or say things like how a human being would say or act or do things. Yeah, let's just listen to his voice. He sounds this high school student sounds extremely uncomfortable.
In high school?
Yeah.
Where do you go to school? You go around here?
Vermont, but I live in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. So you're from Vermont. Well, thank you for the question. So here's what I know. If this election is about Biden's failures and our vision for the future, we are going to win. If it's about relitigating things that happened 2-3 years ago, we're going to lose. And so I can tell you this. I can tell you this. I can point you to Tallahassee, Florida on, I believe, January 5th, 2023. We had a transition of power from my first administration to my second because I won re-election in a historic fashion. And at the end of the day, you know, we need to win and we need to get this done. So I wasn't anywhere near Washington that day. I have nothing to do with what happened that day. Obviously, I didn't enjoy seeing, you know, what happened. But we've got to go forward on this stuff. We cannot be looking backwards and be mired in the past.
Mired in the past. That's what DeSantis's characterization of being concerned about what Trump's actions were on January 6th. Mired in the past. And he's saying, oh, well, my last name's Winner. I won re-election on January 5th, 2023. That should be what matters, is winning, winning, winning. I'm a winner. I win. Bro, Trump is the number one candidate in the race that you are running in. You cannot get to the point of being against Joe Biden in the general election if you do not fucking win the primary, you stupid idiot. Okay? You have to hit Trump on something. You have to try to consolidate the never Trump support or anti-Trump support around yourself. Okay? This wish-washy approach of, oh, well, I wasn't in Washington. I had nothing to do with it. I don't even know what January 6th. What's that? Isn't that? What's that? What is it? What happened? Like, dude, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Come on, DeSantis. You're running against Trump, okay? Who the January 6th riots were a direct result, as we saw in the select committee's investigation, where they did public trials, or I guess not a trial, but a public hearings they did last summer, and the American people saw just how Trump's actions and inaction, frankly, his inaction, how it contributed to the events of the day getting worse and worse and worse. And it's like, people fucking died. People died. You know what I mean? Ashley Babbitt, okay? This girl who was killed has become a huge martyr in the GOP. And Ashley Babbitt, okay? Trump is responsible for Ashley Babbitt's death. Trump is responsible for Officer Sitnik's death, who's a Trump supporter, by the way. Okay? Trump has had a direct role to play in amplifying the riot. So for DeSantis to pretend like, oh, well, we got to focus on the future. We got to focus on Biden's failures and Biden's shortcomings. Bro, Trump is walloping you in the polls. Walloping you. Walloping you. There's an article I read the other day and did a video about how fucking New Hampshire is looking like it's going to slip through DeSantis' fingers and is now might be impossible for him to win. We're in freaking July of 2023, and we're already talking about how New Hampshire is out of reach for DeSantis. And his response is to fucking say that he didn't have anything to do with January 6th. Bro, you're going against Trump in the primary. What the hell strategy is this? It is just absolutely dumbfounding how just idiotic Ron DeSantis is. Like, here's the response you give, okay? Here's the response. You go, yeah, January 6th was an awful day in American history. And no matter how much we disagree with the Democrats, and no matter how much we disagree with their policies, the 2020 election was validated. The 2020 election was won by Joe Biden. And it was because of Trump's handling of XYZ. And I, as a candidate, I would do these things differently to the point that I wouldn't have to worry about having a coup attempt, because I'm going to win my re-election if you elect me. So I'm not even going to have to worry about that. But the fact is that Trump is a loser. Trump lost in 2020 to a president that, to a candidate that should have been beatable and should have been easier to defeat. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. But you say that. You say, I'm not going to have to worry about having a coup attempt. Because my policies are going to be so popular with America that they're going to vote me in for re-election. And I think that's kind of what DeSantis was trying to say when he was going, oh, well, I won re-election, or so I'm a winner. But the issue is that he's not gaining any of the Never Trump support. And as long as the field remains so split, where we have Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, Asa Hutchinson, fucking who else? All these fucking people that are running in the Republican race, okay? So a whole bunch of them now. 12, 13 people who are running. Chris Christie, right? Trump's base and Trump's voters are not going anywhere. If we've seen if the polling that's existed has been at all accurate, they're not going anywhere. The Trump supporters are there to stay. The Trump supporters, Trump said it himself, he could go out and walk on Fifth Avenue or whatever the fuck he said, and you shoot somebody dead, and it's not going to lose him any support. And there's some truth to that. Look at all the stuff that's happened to Trump that would be completely disqualifying of any other candidate. But for some reason, Trump, it's a cult. Okay, it's a cult of support is what it is. And DeSantis, he's making the false calculation that if he doesn't attack Trump too hard, and if we kind of just, as much as we can, not talk about Trump and talk about wokeism and talk about Biden and talk about the Democrats, then what will happen is maybe if Trump is indicted and indicted and indicted, maybe the Trump people wake up and smell like coffee, and then they go, I still like Trump. He's still my guy, but maybe there's somebody out there that could have a better chance of winning the election. Who is this DeSantis guy? He hasn't said that many bad things about Trump. I could go and support him now. Okay, Trump, I'm gonna not vote for you. I'm gonna vote for DeSantis because he's not going too hard against you. No, that's not how you fucking win a campaign, bro. There's 10 plus candidates who are running, okay, and their support is piddly in many instances. But guess what? When you add up Nikki Haley's 3%, Mike Pence's 2%, Chris Christie's 4% or whatever. Asa Hutchinson's 1%. Guess what, dude? If you make yourself the anti-Trump guy, you're going to gain support of people who have fallen out of Trump's favor. And you're going to be building a coalition that is seen as having the strength and having the ability to confront the former president. But for some godforsaken reason, he won't do it. He won't do it. It's just sad. It's just sad. And DeSantis' campaign is one of the worst campaigns I have ever seen. Okay, in my relatively short time paying close attention to American politics, about 8 years or so now, I've been paying pretty close attention. But yeah, it's got to be the worst campaign I've ever seen. And when DeSantis loses, okay, there's going to be a book written about DeSantis' campaign that's going to be titled "How to Not Run a Campaign Against Donald Trump." Or you could just name it "How to Not Run a Campaign Against a Strong Incumbent Candidate." Who Trump is not an incumbent in terms of his official title, right? He's not the president. He's not the incumbent president, but he's enjoying the incumbent advantage that the incumbent presidents have against the other candidate. He's enjoying it because of his recent presidency, as well as his continued forays into American politics after his ouster from office. Trump has been, continually at the forefront of policymaking and of just really he's the standard bearer of what direction the Republican Party goes on any one issue. So, yeah, gotta come up with some better strategy, DeSantis, and powering away and saying that January 6th has nothing to do with you, so we shouldn't be talking about it or shouldn't be thinking about it, and we should just be thinking about Joe Biden. Nah, not gonna work, dude. Not gonna work. And lastly here, we have DeSantis on a Fox News interview with Jesse Waters, I believe it is. Walters, whatever. And for some reason, Fox News thought it would be a good idea for them to eat pizza live during the interview. And just the way... It's just a trip. The way DeSantis interacts with people is not how you or I interact with people. And the way that he eats pizza is certainly not the way I eat pizza. I don't know about you guys, but let's just watch this clip of DeSantis eating pizza because it's pretty funny. All right, here we go.
Coal-fired oven pizza.
Yeah.
And according to the government, this is killing the environment. Let's have a slice.
Let her rip. Oh, man.
That's good.
Really good. The idea they would be going after this, I mean, honestly, I see a lot of the people leaving New York who complain about what goes on up here, but even I wouldn't have believed that they would have dreamt of going after this. This is a staple of this city.
Of all the things going on here, you got crime, you got homelessness, you got drugs, they're going after ovens. Why does the government do that?
They just want to control. You have an itch on the left. They want to control behavior. We saw the same thing with COVID. A lot of that wasn't about your health. It was about they wanted to control your behavior. So they just don't want people to be happy and be able to make their own decisions. They were going after gas stoves in Florida. We made them tax-free. We may have to do some incentives for the coal-fired pizza because you know what? We'll take it.
They're going to want us to microwave this.
Wow. So DeSantis taking up a stand here against the issues that Americans are really concerned about and going against a ban of coal oven pizzas. Like, what? And he's comparing the New York City wanting to ban coal oven pizzas to the government's response to COVID? And how the government just wanted to control People, dude, more people died from COVID than every war in America combined in our history. But somehow that's got something to do with pizza ovens? What in the hell? And it's just honestly disgusting. These two guys with a mouthful talking about how woke the Democrats are. These guys are just blowing sunshine up each other's butts. This is not real America, people. This is not real America. Fox News wants you to believe that this is some pressing issue. This is some horrible, horrible thing that exists out there somehow. But like, I haven't heard anything about how the Democrats are doing the wrong thing by banning coal oven pizzas. Like this reminds me of a few weeks ago when it was gas stoves that were potentially or being reviewed as being unhealthy for people, and that gas stoves and propane is unhealthy to breathe in continually. And the Republicans, they got in their panties in a knot over just the thought of gas stoves being replaced with a more health conscious alternative like a electric stove. These are the issues that the Republicans think are the pressing issues. You have a minimum wage that's been $7.50 since 2009, and we have 60% of America that's living paycheck to paycheck, and we have huge swaths of people that don't have health care, and we have, like, pick an issue and come up with something that's going to help people live a better life in this country. But no, they have to go after pizza oven bans, coal-fired pizza oven bans, and gas stove bans, and the LGBTQ community. What the hell are we doing here, Republicans? What the hell are we doing? Okay? It is absolutely absurd that Fox News would have the audacity to run this segment. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's just crazy. Let's go. I'm gonna pop back into the article here. Let's look at some of these high resolution images here of DeSantis. Look at this guy. Look at him. He's so arrogant, and he's so like punchy. He has a punchable face. I thought Trump's face is not even anywhere near as punchable, and that is remarkable. I mean, look at him. Look at these two idiots. They're so pleased with themselves that they're fighting the wokeism and the pizza ovens. It's just absolutely unreal. This guy is such an unserious candidate. He is such a pansy. He's such a coward. He's such a spineless, toothless, degenerate, useless, dumb politician that it's remarkable. The news that comes out every day, I love waking up and reading the news about Ron DeSantis because it's guaranteed to produce a laugh. It's guaranteed to produce some kind of emotional reaction. That's for sure. It's just absolutely crazy that the Republicans who are wanting to go against Trump, that they're hanging their hopes on this dude. Yes, keep doing it, Republicans. Keep doing it, because what it's going to mean is it's going to mean that Donald Trump is the nominee of the Republican Party, and that he's going to get beat by Joe Biden a second time. Because getting beat by Joe Biden one time isn't enough for Donald Trump. He wants to have it happen a second time. So by all means, Republicans, please keep supporting Ron DeSantis and his ridiculous antics and these ridiculous interviews and speeches and responses that he's constantly giving. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys in this show. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Let me know what you think about any one of the topics we've covered today. And I'll be sure to catch you in the next show. All right, peace out.